Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As an English learner, have you ever heard the terms of prepositional phrases? If you're not, or you're still curious about that, it's good for you because today me and my friends are going to explain what this prepositional phrases is. But before we start, let us have a first introduction of ourselves first. My name is Mohammad Zahran Alfarabi with NIM 0304-128-202-5087.
Hello, my name is Meiwa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Muhammad Alif Wicaksono with student's registration number 079.
I'm going to explain about the definition and the characteristic of prepositional phrases. Prepositions are words that are used to link a noun or phrase to another part of the sentence. Some examples of prepositions are on, in, to, and at. You will find them used in lots of different ways and various contexts. The most common ways to use prepositions include using them to indicate time, the direction or the location of an object, or to introduce something. And an individual preposition can be used in more ways than one. A prepositional phrase is a group of words consisting of a preposition, its object, and any words that modify the object. Most of the time, a prepositional phrase modifies a verb or a noun. These two kinds of prepositional phrases are called adverbial phrases and adjectival phrases. Some of the most common prepositions that become prepositional phrases are to, of, about, at, before, after, by, behind, during, for, from, in, over, under, and with. Here is the list of prepositions. And now I'm going to explain about the characteristic of prepositional phrases. The first always contains a preposition and an object. Second, located separately from the subject. The third prepositional phrase is the dependent sentence. And the last prepositional phrases can be inserted with adverb or adjective.
So the definition of prepositional phrases has been explained by my friends, that is Meiwa. So in this lesson with me, I'm gonna talking about how to use this kind of prepositional phrases. So a sentence can be categorized as prepositional phrases when they have the structure like this: preposition plus object of preposition. The object of preposition could be noun, pronoun, noun phrases, and gerund. In this lesson, we're gonna learn how to use this kind of prepositional phrases in the sentence. Let's get started. So, the first one is an adverb, which explains the verb. The example of the sentence is, she will go in the evening. The word in this sentence is used as preposition, and the word the evening in this sentence is used as an adverb. So the evening explains the verb go, so it could be an adverb. The second example. The example of sentence is, Nina is a girl in a white dress. The word in this sentence used as a preposition. It used to explain the noun phrases the white dress. So the white dress is an object of preposition as a noun phrases. Next, the third example. The example of a sentence is, the love letter for Alfio is made by Alana. The word by in the sentences is used as a preposition, and Alana in the sentences is who write the letter as a subject. Usually in this case, preposition is placed after the verb made, and the verb is made, and the preposition is placed after the verb. The fourth example, double object. when the preposition is between two objects. In this sentence, Alana gave a drink to the kid on the corner. The word on in the sentence is used as preposition, which is between two objects, the kid and the corner. Next example. The example of this function is, please buy the scarf with dots. With dots in the sentence is adjective pronoun, and the word scarf is noun. The preposition is usually placed after noun. Okay, I think that's enough from me. See you later, and keep it going on and bear it in your mind. Thank you, bye-bye.
Okay. After we heard the explanation from Meiwa and Alif, I think we already understand what is prepositional phrases and how to use them and how to build them. And in my opinion, prepositional phrases is really cool. In my opinion, it's really cool because, look, it can work as an adverb and it can work as a noun. And it's a staple. You can use it with almost every words that exists. And some of example that I really like, I mean, Alif and Meiwa already give many examples, but I just want to share the one that I really love, is to use the word class, the study room, as an adverb, because class is a room. It's referred to a room where students can learn. It refers to a room that doesn't have any actual physical look, because it's a room. It's not something that you can touch. It's not something that you can feel. It doesn't make any sounds. It's a room. It's a room. So how can we use a room as an adverb? And the example sentences of this is, that guy in the room is my friend. That guy in the room is my friend. In that sentence, okay, so in the sentence, that guy in the class is my friend, the subject is that guy, and in the class, acting as the adverb of that guy, and is acting as verb, and my friend acting as another adverb to support the verb. So the reason why it's cool is because the word class that doesn't have physical being is used to describe a person. A person is in the class, and in my opinion it's really cool because class is not an adverb, but just by adding a preposition and make it a prepositional phrases, we can make it this by adding a prepositions and make it be prepositional phrases, we can use it as an adverb. And of course it can also be used as noun, but in another example. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back with the questions, with the test. So the test is especially about the prepositional phrases. So I'm going to work on the questions, and I'm going to explain like what is the answer and why that is the answer. Okay, so let's start. Number 1. Dynamite is ordinarily detonated blank 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 called a blasting cap. And we have 4 random answers, and we need to choose one, which is one that we think the most right. Okay, so when we fill the gap, when we work with fill the gap questions, we need to understand which is what and what is which, and which is what and what is which. So we need to know where is and what is the subject, who is the verb, and what is the words after the verb, what is the adverb if they have. So in the sentences, dynamite is. That's totally clear that the dynamite is the subject and is the verb. So that means that because there can only be one subject and one verb in the sentences, that means that ordinarily detonated and blah blah blah, is counted as an adverb. It's something to describe the dynamite is. The dynamite is ordinarily detonated blank 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 called a blasting cap. So ordinarily detonated and blank 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 called a blasting cap is an adverb. But ordinarily detonated is not an adverb. So how do we make the phrase become an adverb? And the way to do it, the way to change the phrase into something that we can use as an adverb is to build it up, is to build the sentences into a preposition. To build the phrase to be a prepositional phrase. And the way we do it is by giving the phrase a prepositional, the correct prepositional. So from A, B, C, and D, we need to choose which one that have the correct prepositions. So that with that being said, that A and E is wrong because a device is used that doesn't contain prepositions. The use of a device that doesn't contain the prepositions, and we can make a prepositional phrase if we don't have prepositions. So A and D is wrong, and then we left with B and C. That a device is also not a preposition. I'm sorry. So the only answer that have possibility to change the phrase into prepositional phrase, and so it can be used as an adverb into this sentences, is C. So the answer of number 1 is C. Okay, so number 2, blank 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 seed of a flowering plant is covered by a dense protective coat. Blank 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 seed of a flowering plant is covered by a dense protective coat. Okay, so the same as before, we break it down first. See, search versus subject. What is the verb and what is the word after the verb should be. Blank 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 seed of a flowering plant is covered by a dense protective coat. So how do we know where is and what is the verb here? We have 3 verbs here: flowering, the verb ing, right? Covered, and is. So which one is the verb? Because there can only be one verb in a sentence. So okay, so we need to see what is the context in the use of the verb. So flowering is and covered is a verb, but in these sentences, not 3 of them are being used as a verb. And how do we know which is the verb that is not being a verb here? We can know it by looking at the connections of that verb. If it have prepositions, it can be after or it can be before that. But if a verb have prepositions, it's not a verb anymore, because prepositions are modifying the forms of the verb, and it can be a noun or it can be an adverb. At this point, blank 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 seed of a flowering plant. So the flowering is not the verb in the sentence, in this sentence. Why? Because the flowering is only an adverb of the seed. So seed blank 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 seed of a flowering plant. So it's not a verb. So even if it's a verb, it's not being used as verbs here. And the same goes with the covered, because covered is a verb, but here it's followed with covered by, which means that it's not covering, but which means that it's not covering as a verb, but it's covered as an adverb, a dense protective coat. So blank 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 seed of a flowering plant is covered by a dense protective coat. So by eliminating the flowering and covered, we know that the only subject in the only verb in this sentence is. And because we know that the verb is, we know that the subject is the one that is behind the verb. So blank 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 seed of a flowering plant is the subject here, which means that the covered by dense protective coat is just an adverb to fulfill the its verb. So from the A, B, C, and D, which one is the correct one? Which one is the most right prepositions that were which one is the most right words to fill the gap? Blank 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 seed of a flowering plant, and it worked as a subject. Blank 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 seed of a flowering plant. So of a flowering plant means that it's a of here is working as a prepositions. So flowering plant have seeds, right? And these seeds, what seed actually is covered by a dense protective coat? So the sentences the meaning of the sentences is there are seed of a flowering plant that is covered by a dense protective coat. But so we need to choose the right answer. So the right answer is the only single one of those that can show that is this seed that we're talking about. So it's not the other seed, it's not the other seed of plant, it's just this seed. And it's actually kind of hard to catch, but with that being said, that the only possible answer is B. Why? Because it contains one prepositions, and it's each. And why we want and why do we want an answer that only have one prepositions? Because if we have two prepositions like on each of, that each, the each part of it doesn't become a preposition. It becomes like the adverb of the preposition. So on each seed of a flowering plant, that doesn't mean that we're talking about the seed. We're talking about on each, not the seed. And on each seed, on each seed, and each of seed. That also means that we're not showing what the seed we're talking about, but we're talking about each of seed. So each of seed is really can't be used here. It doesn't make any sense if you use that here. So C is cross the list, and that each also doesn't make any sense, because that each seed of a flowering plant is covered by dense protective coat is wrong. Because if you want to say that each, then you need to be more informative about it. It's like you are giving a statement, and then you need to give something after the statement. So that each can be used too. So the only thing that can be used is each. So I think that's all from me on working on the examples and questions in tasks, because the important thing about tasks is, if you want to do it greatly, if you want to get a high score, then you need to do a lot of practice. And I'm pretty sure I'm really lack of practice, and yeah, I really hope that we can be a better English speaker after this. So yeah, when you are having this kind of questions in the task, the first of all that you are going to do, first of all that you should do is breaking the sentences, breaking down the sentences, show what is the subject, what is the verb, what is the adverb. If it's an adverb, do it need preposition? Is it supposed to be a prepositional phrases or not? So first of all, you need to understand if it needs to be a prepositional phrases or not. So after that, you can So if it's yes, if it needs to be a prepositional phrases, then you need to understand the context that we're talking. Is it on each of that, which one we're talking, which one of the preposition is the actual prepositions that can change the context of the phrase become into a prepositional phrases that can be used as a noun or an adverb. So yeah, first break it down and then see what is what and who is who, and after that choose the right answer. Yeah, I guess that's all from me in this session. Yeah, okay, that's all the explanations from us of prepositional phrases. I really hope you all enjoy it. I really hope it's going to bring benefit for both of us. And yes, we're sorry if we made mistakes, and we're still learning too. So yeah, thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.